A group of young students, led by a venerable master, lived in a far-off village surrounded by rolling hills. These eager boys were not only eager to learn about wisdom, but also very curious about the traits and behaviors they should avoid. One evening, as the sun was setting and painting the sky with hues of gold, the boys gathered under a large old tree and sat in a circle, their minds and hearts full of questions about the traits and behaviors that weren't worthy of their respect. Speaking up, a boy called Lisa said, "Master, we have learned a lot about the traits that make a person wise and virtuous, but could you please advise us on the traits and behaviors we should avoid those who don't deserve our respect?" With a calm demeanor, the teacher nodded and started imparting his knowledge. Recognizing someone's great traits and attributes is the first step in showing respect for them, but it's also important to understand what they shouldn't be respected. Allow me to explain the 10 traits or behaviors that shouldn't earn your respect. Arrogance is the first trait that is unworthy of respect. People who are arrogant have an exaggerated sense of self-importance. They think they are better than other people and frequently despise those around them. Combines them with the important lessons that life and their peers have to offer. Arrogance can also hinder personal growth because when someone believes they already know everything, they are less likely to seek out new information or take constructive criticism. People may find it difficult to relate to or connect with someone who constantly exudes a sense of superiority. This isolation can be harmful because it keeps them from experiencing different viewpoints and developing a deeper understanding of the world. The ability to accept that there is always more to learn and space for development is the foundation of great wisdom. Arrogance is a trait that should be avoided since it not only impedes one's ability to grow personally, but also eliminates the possibility of deep connections and the insightful knowledge that others can impart. As he discussed the second attribute, the master's students listened intently and were anxious to learn more. Not being respectful is one should avoid being dishonest, since it shows a lack of integrity and credibility. When someone is dishonest, they don't tell the truth and frequently fabricate events or facts to fit their own agenda. When someone is dishonest, it becomes hard to trust them or accept what they say, which can seriously harm relationships and erode trust. Any healthy connection, whether it be between friends, family, or coworkers, is built on trust. When dishonesty exists, trust is undermined and the relationship's foundation is weakened. In addition to undermining trust, dishonesty has a wider influence on society and the community at large. It can create a culture of dishonesty and deceit, which makes it more difficult for individuals to collaborate effectively and results in miscommunications, disputes, and a lack of cooperation. Since honesty is a highly valued and respected virtue, dishonesty should be recognized and avoided because it erodes trust and the foundation of our social connections. Honest people are viewed as dependable and trustworthy because their words and deeds are consistent with truth and integrity, which promotes strong bonds and healthy relationships. The teacher went on to say that selfishness is the third trait that is unworthy of respect. It is an unpleasant quality that we should be aware of and work to eliminate. To go a little further into this idea, people frequently prioritize their own wants and needs over those of others. This self-centered behavior frequently causes harm to those around them, and more generally, results in a lack of harmony and cooperation throughout their communities. When we see selfishness in others or ourselves, it's critical to recognize the detrimental effects it can have. Selfishness can take many different forms, such as someone who never shares, always demands their way, or relentlessly pursues personal gain without thinking about how it affects others. Since selfish behavior shows a lack of regard for the feelings and well-being of others, it can undermine trust and lead to conflict. In the long run, a community or organization that accepts and tolerates selfish behavior is likely to suffer from a lack of harmony, cooperation, and sincere concern for one another. Hence, by recognizing and rejecting selfishness, we can help create a more peaceful and thoughtful environment where people put the needs of the group before their own. The Master's remarks struck a deep chord of knowledge, as he went on to say that harshness is the fourth trait that one should not like. It is crucial to realize that cruelty is defined as acts and conduct that intentionally cause harm to others, frequently resulting in severe pain and suffering. You see, compassion and empathy are traits that ought to be shown to those who are in need, or who might be going through a difficult time. On the one hand, cruelty contrasts sharply with compassion. Cruel people purposefully commit acts that cause harm, whether it be physical, emotional, or psychological. This willful infliction of pain is morally wrong. On the other hand, these virtues demonstrate our ability to comprehend and share the feelings of others, and are attributes that merit respect. The wise master continued his lesson by saying that the fifth quality that should not be respected is laziness. When we talk about laziness, we're referring to people who lack the drive and motivation to make the most of their abilities, and thus fail to contribute positively to society. Respect is a precious sentiment that should be reserved for those who consistently and diligently put in the effort. This is wrong and ethically unacceptable in the pursuit of wisdom and virtue. Instead, we should strive to cultivate kindness, empathy, and compassion because these are the qualities that lead to a more harmonious and just world. Let's take a closer look at this idea. In essence, laziness is the unwillingness to put out effort, or the persistent avoidance of work and responsibilities. It's not just a passing wish to unwind or take a break. Those can be beneficial and essential, but rather a persistent pattern of ignoring one's responsibilities and aspirations. Respecting people is appreciating their contributions, efforts, and virtues. People that are dedicated and hardworking are frequently the ones who propel advancement, encourage others, and bring about constructive change in their communities. But lazy people often waste their potential and, consequently, miss chances to have a significant impact on the world. To tolerate laziness would be to support a mindset that is in opposition to the very principles that make people and societies what they are. Prosper is not about ignoring those who may be taking a short break or rejuvenating. Rather, it is about realizing that respect should be given mainly to those who demonstrate the will and dedication to realize their full potential and make a positive contribution to society while upholding his teachings. As he addresses the following point, the Master's voice stays calm and steady. Close-mindedness is the sixth trait that should not be valued. According to him, people who display this characteristic often prevent themselves from examining alternative viewpoints or novel concepts, which impedes not only their own development, but also the advancement of their communities. Conversely, open-mindedness is a quality that fosters comprehension, creativity, and solidarity, while one characteristic that hinders these vital attributes is narrow-mindedness. He continued by providing more details. Close-minded people frequently refuse to consider ideas or points of view that are different from their own. They erect mental obstacles that hinder the sharing of information and the investigation of different ideas, which can result in stagnation and a lack of advancement for both the individual and the group they are a part of. In other words, close-mindedness blocks the way to possible development and enlightenment. One trait that encourages the free exchange of ideas and fosters a cooperative and learning atmosphere is open-mindedness. People can have productive conversations, solve problems more successfully, and adjust to changing conditions when they are receptive to new viewpoints. Because of their openness, they can welcome diversity, learn from others, and create stronger, more peaceful societies. The master told the young boys that they should strive to develop open-mindedness as a valuable trait that promotes greater understanding, collaboration, and personal development, rather than respecting narrow-mindedness, which stifles growth and hinders the positive progress of both individuals and their communities. The seventh characteristic to prevent respecting the end was carried out by the master. For some people, envy is a deeply rooted emotion that arises when they harbor resentment or dissatisfaction toward the accomplishments, assets, or advantages of others. This emotion can be detrimental to a person's life, causing negativity and impeding personal development. Let's examine this idea a little more. Envy frequently occurs when we evaluate ourselves against others and discover that we are lacking in some way. It can be a painful emotion because it not only makes you jealous of someone else's good fortune, but it also deprives you of your own happiness and contentment. If you let it fester, it can have a number of detrimental effects. Relationship tension can result from envy because it frequently causes us to act cruelly or unsupportively toward others. It can also damage your confidence and self-esteem because continuously comparing yourself to others can make you feel inadequate. Finally, envy can be a major obstacle to personal development and growth because it diverts your attention from your own objectives, because you're too focused on what other people have accomplished rather than embracing their success as inspiration. In summary, envy can transform it into a source of irritation and self-doubt. Respecting envy is seeing how destructive it is and choosing to avoid it, rather than letting it dictate your thoughts and behavior. It's preferable to focus your energies on bettering yourself, establishing your own objectives, and joyfully acknowledging and applauding others' accomplishments. This route results in a happier and more satisfying existence free from the negativity that envy can cause. As the students absorbed Master's teachings, they felt a profound shift in their understanding. They realized that avoiding these 10 qualities and actions was just as crucial as embracing wisdom and intelligence. With this knowledge, they left the gathering that evening with their hearts lighter and their minds clearer. In the days that followed, the students started to apply the wisdom shared by Master into their lives, and discovered that by not respecting these negative qualities, they created space for personal growth. Their ties to one another grew stronger as their empathy and comprehension increased, and they felt a revitalized feeling of purpose, and as a result, the Venerable Master's instruction kept motivating the pupils and directing them toward virtue and enlightenment.